Hello everyone and welcome to the Decks of the Weekend, my weekly video series where I highlight some decks that did well in the weekend in Modern, Historic, and Alchemy. Today I'm starting Modern with Elementals. Elementals is a deck based around the powerful new incarnations like Solitude Fury and of course Ephemerate, and getting value from Reason Reef, and it's 4 color based off around Omnath. These decks used to be very popular and then kind of disappeared in favor of the so-called money pile with Eurian in the Companion Zone and Eternal Witness. You can find some videos about that deck. Elementals, as I said, kind of disappeared, but still did well this weekend in the Spanish nationals, the modern nationals in Spain, in Madrid. That was won by Javier Dominguez on Griggs' Shadow. Itaka GG on Twitter posted all the lists. And I decided to highlight Elementals since, again, it's definitely one of those decks that you might like, and then you go like, oh wait, it's not like doing any results ever, so it must be bad now. I don't think it's that way. I think that people turned into the 4 color Omnath deck, which is just a slightly different deck. This one is a Mole Drifter with the Ephemerate. Is more all in on this type of effect. Powerful Reason Reef card. So sometimes, like, especially in these formats, people just stop playing some decks because, I don't know, like, other people decide that the version with You Are an Eternal Witness is better. And that might be the case, but I'm still happy to see that Elementals did well. And definitely a deck very cool. Reason Reef is a card that I love, so seeing that card win in Modern makes me happy. Let's go over to Historic, where I'm gonna highlight a deck. Let me change the camera there. We're gonna highlight a deck from the Innistrad Set Championship. This deck was played by Camillo Lukas from Austria. He made the top 16 with with Jeskai Field. This deck is also popular in Modern. It's not as popular, but Aspiring Spike has made some videos with this deck, and Camillo brought it to Historic with the card Strict Proctor. From Strixhaven, a 2-mana 1/3 flyer that whenever permanents enter the battlefield, you counter that ability unless you pay 2. As a result, you can play Strict Proctor, and then you can play Jeskai Lotus Field, and you won't sacrifice the 2 lands because you won't pay the 2. Strict Proctor is also excellent now in the format because of the card Inquisitor Captain. If you're new to Alchemy, this was released a few weeks ago, and it's now dominating the format. Really dominant. This card with Soul Herder, Charming Prince, Glasspool Mimic, Mirror Image, you just go off. And the Strict Proctor is excellent against that deck, since that deck often relies with exactly Evaporation and effects like that to deal with creatures. The rest of the deck is just a bunch of various combos in the deck. This deck is definitely wild. You have Sarah's Emissary, but no creativity. You have Gideon of the Trial with Chance for Glory, as well as having 4 copies of Stifle. Stifle is a card that's on Arena somehow, that you can stifle your Lotus Field with, or you can also stifle the trigger ability of Chance for Glory. Because what happens is, you play Chance for Glory, you get an extra turn, and then at the end of the next turn, you're gonna lose the game. You can stifle that ability, and not lose the game. So this is just kind of control. This continuity also works well with Lotus Field. And then what do you do with all that mana? Well, as I said, you cast Swords of Emissary, you untap that mana with Teferi, you have Leer to flash your things back, and so on and so forth. Wild deck, beautiful. The final deck that I want to highlight is it Epiphany? It's not Is it Epiphany. That was just a bait. It's Is it Control that our world champ Yuta Takahashi used to do well in the Decathlon event. As I'm recording this video, the Decathlon event is still going on. You can still play Alchemy to get into the arena event, which is pretty cool. You can win some nice prizes for if you grind all of these events. The deck isn't playing Epiphany anymore. It's playing 4 copies of Discover the Formula. This is a 6 mana, very similar to Sphinx's Revelation in my opinion, in the sense that you cast this and technically you win the game. Because what happens is you draw 3 spells and you're going to get infinite like all your hand is gonna be cheaper now, and you're gonna be able to cast a cheap Key to the Archive, a cheap Burn Down the House, Galvanic Iteration, coping other things, and so on and so forth. You have a Braid, you have Thunder Rebuke as your removal spells. You don't play Fading Hope anymore, but the most importantly, you don't play Iron's Epiphany anymore. The card has been nerfed. You didn't know. The card is now a if you pay 7 mana, you get an extra turn, but you don't get the birds. You only get the birds if you foretell this. But if you copy the Iron's Epiphany, even if it's foretold, you still don't get the birds. This is for best of one, so you have reduced to memory in the side, and this is why you see some white land, but they're not needed for sure. Yeah, this is the deck. Mostly this deck wins either with Burn Down the House, with Mascot Exhibitions, or with like Approach of the Second Sun that you can get with your Key to the Archive. This card is cool. I'm not a big fan, but definitely a cool card. So yeah, that'll do it for this week's Decks of the Weekend. Stay tuned for content every day on this channel, and yeah, have a good day.